How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it's Wednesday here on the show. We're back. We were off for the holiday yesterday, which means we didn't get to talk about John Cena's final championship win. Happened on Monday night. And it's happening in advance of his final Raw appearance ever coming up this Monday. So we'll tell you about that. Last night was also NXT, a show that I am convinced is written largely to troll myself, if I may say so. And we'll tell you about everything that went down on the show last night. We've also got a big show for AEW tonight, 2.5 hours of blood and guts. We have a women's blood and guts match, a men's blood and guts match, a non-title Falls Count Anywhere match involving the AEW World Champion, and more. So we'll bring you up to speed on that. We can tell you about the Last Time Is Now tournament, speaking of trolling. We've also got another performers getting their own day in their hometown. I'm sure you can guess who it is. Updates on Lex Luger and Mick Foley, who are doing much better physically of late than they have been doing in a long time. So always good to have some good news on Wrestling Observer Live, because we don't always. And then we'll talk about the rest of the news as well, including the top merch sellers in WWE, The Rock's doing another movie, Eddie Kingston's wrapping up his indie career, Jericho made some interesting comments that got a lot of people talking, Raw ratings, and plenty more. Filthy Tom Lawler is joining us today, as always. And if you would like to send us a text message, the number is 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4WOnline@gmail.com. F4W Online, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo at Bryan Alvarez, X and Blue Sky. Back in a moment with this show, After Dark radio later today, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. I think this show was like the best and worst of AEW.
The earliest story of this show was somebody almost died in every match. I thought MJF's head was going to fall off his body.
It looked like he put his own head into the mat as hard as he could.
Momo kicks Mercedes. Mercedes might have a bruised larynx.
I was certain Swerve had broken his neck.
Man, this dude landed right on his head.
Mariah May versus Toni Storm.
Good Lord.
Mariah gets her hands on a champagne bottle and smashes it right into Tony's crotch.
Some guy in the front row holds up a sign that goes, "For the sickos!"
It sure was.
It's like, well, goddamn, this was for the sickos, all
As
right.
sick as you can get.
Yes.
I did not have glass to the vajayjay on my bingo card.
I don't know why not.
I certainly hope not.
You should have.
What kind of bingo are we playing over there? And the two big screens just read, "The End." This, in hindsight, absolutely should have ended the show.
Maybe it should have. However, I can't guarantee that this match was going to be this good with this much heat 5 hours into the live show.
Well, there's that.
Following all those matches we saw. Like,
true.
every time people say this should main event, it's like, are you sure you want that? Then we had Takeshi and Kenny. Another incredible match.
What is up with they have an announcer that wears a mask?
Oh, no. God, please, not this.
What
Anyway, the match.
What is that about?
I actually was fixing to give Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher the highest star rating on the show, but I would say that by the last 3-4 minutes, I was like, well, you did a little too much here. People are going to be mad, but it's true. We didn't need the Spanish fly off the top of the cage. This match would have been as good or better without it.
The penis first Styles clash into the tax.
That should be a finish.
That should be a career ender. It is tomb silent.
Oh, yeah, this crowd's dead.
They've seen every single goddamn thing two human beings can do to each other, and now men are grappling.
And Jason here goes, it's go away heat, Brian. He sucks. Listen, do you guys know what go away heat is?
Listen.
There were 11,000 people in this building. It's just like when people hated Jericho. There still is no evidence that he actually ran anybody off. They just didn't want him. Like, there's a difference. You want a different champion, but who is quitting AEW because Jon Moxley retained tonight?
Put the belt on Swerve immediately, as soon as possible. It could be me, it could be you, it could be Mark, anyone.
I don't want it.
Just, it's run its course.
All right. Golly, this Moxley has heat with these people. What did you think, Mark?
Oh, I'm coming for you now. Oh, he punched him in the diverticulitis. Pissed like a sprinkler.
Go
Back
out, and
forth,
we are going to do
back
what was
and
billed.
forth.
No, not like this.
There was more. There was.
It's not for me. Why do you like it
No,
so
Jason.
much? Are you guys on Tony's payroll?
Back of the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom Lawler is joining us here today. What did you think of that NXT last night, Tom?
It was a show that happened. I haven't really thought 1 second of
Oh, really?
since it went down.
Yeah, you were texting me during the show. We'll talk about this later on tonight, meaning this afternoon. Sometimes I just want to start with it and just go for like an entire hour, but I know we got other things to talk about. Are you aware, Tom? Are you aware that this show is written just to irritate you and me? You ever notice that?
Sometimes it seems that way.
I have to mention this.
My beloved Speed.
I forget Speed. That's another issue entirely. That's another issue entirely.
Not to me.
Do you know what they did on this show? I just want to get this out of the way now because I'm not going to talk about it during the actual review. Maybe I will more tomorrow with Vinny. But they did a segment early on with my beloved Ava backstage. And I swear to God, she's in the room with 3 men, okay? And she begins talking to these men. And I'm like, who in God's name are these 3 guys? Okay, the one guy is the guy that looks like he's 11, okay?
Brad Baylor.
I think that's Brad Baylor, okay? Don't answer this for me, Tom. So I think
but why? Because I'm going to prove to you that it's not that hard to remember.
I figured out Brad Baylor. That I'm like, okay, I know the other guy. That other guy there is his partner, but like, what the heck is that guy's name? And then they've got the champion. He's got the Evolve belt. Okay, so like, I have no idea who the champion is. I know you do. It doesn't matter. Here's the point. I have no idea who this guy is. Okay, no idea whatsoever. So I think, okay, well, surely they will put a graphic up on the screen identifying these 3 men, because of course these are Evolve talents here on the NXT show. Anybody want to bet if they identified any of these men during this segment? Not a single one of them did they identify. They didn't put one graphic up for all 3. So I thought, okay, all right, that doesn't matter. You know what? Sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands when you're a talent. So I'm sure as they do this promo back and forth, either my beloved Ava or, maybe the Evolved champion himself, maybe one of them will actually say their own name, or maybe Ava will help us identify these 3 men. Not a single time did anybody in this segment say the name of the Evolved champion. They literally leave. I'm like, are you kidding me? Not one time during this segment did you identify. You've got to be kidding me. So then I'm hot. I'm like, here we go again. This stupid backstage graphic thing. So then there's a segment later. And who was in this segment? Anyway, the point is, there's 2 people backstage, and one of them is a man.
Sean Legacy?
No, don't spoil it here. One of them is a man, and he's talking to Ava, and I'm like, I know this guy, but I can't remember his name. What's his name? They don't put his name up on the screen, so he doesn't identify himself either. Nobody identifies him. So then, whoever walks,
that's untrue.
Okay, I gotta mute you. Can you just let me do this? You're so annoying. Where is this segment here? I gotta get it exactly now because Tom thinks he's right, but he's actually wrong. Where is it here? It was later on. Okay, I'm going to find it. I'm just going to take my time because I know I have it. Where is it? Why is this so hard? Why is everything about this show impossible? And Tom, of course, is not helping. Let's see. We go. Okay. All right. So Ava is backstage meeting with a male human being, okay? There's no identification of this man whatsoever, okay? Now, to give this man credit, he says to Ava, I can't wait to put an end to Jackson Drake's Evolve title reign. I thought, finally. It's only been an hour, but finally somebody is smart enough to actually identify the Evolve champion. Congratulations, dude. So he identifies Jackson Drake. But then he doesn't bother to identify himself. So I'm like, okay, now I figured out that the champion is Jackson Drake. But, like, I don't know who this guy is. I think I've seen him before. So then Zaruka walks onto screen. And Zaruka says, I am not exaggerating. On the screen flashes Shawn Legacy Ava. And it's gone. It's gone. Disappeared into the thin air. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then, you know whose name they do put up on the screen? Sol Ruka and Zarya. You know who else's name they put on the screen? Thea Hale, JC Jane, Jordan Grace, Kalani Jordan. Like, they're throwing up the names of all of these people who we already know because they're actually on NXT every week. But the people they refuse to identify are the people from the internet show. God, I hate this show. Anything else you'd like to ruin now that you're unmuted? How hard is it to put graphics on the screen to identify your talent? Why do they do this all the time? There's only one person that cares, and it's me. So I'm the reason.
Yeah, who could be bothered to remember people that have been on the show multiple times?
How many times has the Evolve Champion been on the show?
I bet you 5 or 6.
No way. Zero chance. You want me to go up right now?
Yeah,
I know Brad Baylor has.
They were partnered up with Ethan Page for a little bit too. You probably forgot that. They mentioned that Shawn Legacy was the one that was challenging.
How many times has Sol Ruka been on the show? But she needs a graphic. Ava needs a graphic. Javon Evans needs a graphic. But we don't need to put a graphic up for Jackson Drake.
Said the Vanity Project.
I'm going back here. I mean, the last time I could find him even being on the show was July when Ricky Saints beat him in a gauntlet match. And prior to that,
multiple backstage segments.
he had an 8-man tag in June. That's 2. Yeah, that's it, buddy. 2 appearances.
No, they did other segments as well.
I'm watching. I'm looking at it right now, dude. 2.
I didn't say matches. I said they've been on TV.
Hey, the
5 or 6
point
times.
is, how about you get some graphics on your screen, okay? You want to talk about your speed title now?
You want to go to
I'll mute myself.
You want to go to the Brain Institute here so you can remember who some of these people are?
Dude, it's not about the Brain Institute, you idiot. Even if I knew who he was, you got to put a graphic up on the screen in case anybody else doesn't know who Jackson Drake is. Why would you put a graphic up for everybody who's normally on the show, but not 2 guys that have had 2 appearances in the last 6 months? Hello? Why am I arguing this with you?
Probably because they were
Smarten up, dude.
Probably because they were more interested in pushing the Vanity Project as a whole.
They didn't even put Vanity Project on the screen.
Oh, I bet you they did.
No, dude. I'm watching the show.
Why don't you mute me so I can go back and watch it?
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and you can talk about the speed title, your beloved speed.
It's not what I asked for.
Oh, now you're angry? All right.
Now I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm the one that got shut down and turned off earlier.
Because I'm trying to tell
Do
a
I
story.
Sound angry?
Have you ever heard the story of the 3 little pigs? Imagine if I start telling the story, and then you bring up, last pig's got bricks. Well, how about you wait till I get there? Why are you ruining the story before I even get through the story? Come on. I'm a storyteller here. Don't do spoilers. That later somebody announces a guy's name. Golly. The last pig does have bricks. That's how he builds a house. But you don't tell that part at the beginning of the story. You wait, you build it up.
That is certainly not even the same argument. We're talking about being able to identify people with your own eyes who you have seen multiple times with those very eyes before.
No, it's stupid.
There's other things to be angry about, like speed.
Okay, we'll do speed after the break. I'll mute myself. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Check out this free video and make sure you hit like and subscribe.
If Truth didn't have the best weekend in this company, then Mr. Iguana did.
Oh, yeah, this guy is over, dude.
We'll get to him in the Worlds Collide review, but
He's got merch up on WWE Shop.
he's gonna make so much.
He's got these
money.
kids that want to see more Mr. Iguana.
Yeah. So
His face paint is so funny.
I must stop you right here. It's not face
Oh,
paint.
would you stop?
It's head paint.
Yeah, it looks.
He paints his whole damn head.
It looks like he's gets held upside down and they just dunk
Dip
his
it,
head
yes.
in green paint.
Yes.
It's absolutely bizarre.
And when he's not resting, he wears the round silver spectacles,
Yes,
and
he
flicks his tongue constantly,
Yes,
as an iguana would, and Del Toro and Octagon do whatever, and people are patient, but they don't care. And then Iguana tags in, and they are hyped. It took about 7 seconds to make himself my favorite luchador. He starts, I forget who he's in there with, but the guy offers a handshake, and so he licks it because he's an iguana, and then he gets hit with a shoulder tackle, or it's a chop. He takes a chop, he drops to his back, he sticks all 4 limbs straight in the air.
Yes.
He's playing dead like an iguana would. So then he brings in the puppet. I didn't get the puppet's name. I should have used it 50 times. But it's an iguana puppet that he thinks is real. Well,
already up on WWE Shop.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You know if Harley Cameron's doll is on the AW?
I do not know.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
So he starts doing spots with the puppet in his mouth. He lets the puppet try to get the pin. And amidst all the silliness, Conan says, you know this, Mr. Iguana, he's most popular with children.
I liked how as soon as the puppet started doing spots, Corey Graves goes, is that legal in Mexico? And without skipping a beat, Conan goes, yes.
Low on the list of things you will see in a Lucha Libre match, especially in AAA. So he starts using the puppet more as a weapon, or as a distraction, I should say. But it ends up with Lindsay Dorado getting a hold of this puppet, and he snaps, and he stomps the puppet, and he grabs the puppet, and he Spanish flies the puppet. This crowd is outraged. They're pissed. They're furious. But you know he's even more pissed and furious?
It got more heat than anything else. Maybe on the entire show,
Mr.
actually.
Goddamn Iguana.
They were
who's
furious.
seething and his eyes are breaking out, and he snaps and just rips ass. He grabs his own lizard and is whipping these guys with it. And then they remember it's just a puppet and they stop selling.
This was a very, very fun match. I liked it a lot. And there's a lot to learn here about marketing.
Yeah.
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live, Filthy Tom Lawler. Notice I verbally identify myself and my co-host, as well as the deep voiced man. Hey, remember Mike Sempervive, Tom?
Yeah.
I cannot believe that our chat here actually believed that he regularly got suspended and was not allowed to do the show. Guys.
No, he's not that lucky.
Guys, it was a work. Anytime he had a day off, we did a work suspension. I have to actually explain this. God. Lord help me. Tom, go ahead. Talk about your speech.
Hello?
I turned myself off so he could talk about it.
Oh,
Thank you for the graphic. Tom Lawler just got put on the screen.
might want to give me a little Iggy a heads up there.
I told you before the break. And during the break when we kept arguing about names.
Speed.
Not happy.
WWE Speed. Something I used to love. I would look forward to every single week. It's over. I no longer look forward to watching WWE Speed. We have now the worst Speed champion in the history of WWE Speed. A man who shows no urgency, no desire, it looks like, to actually win in a quick fashion. No desire to put on an entertaining show for the fans. This man is the antithesis of what we came to love with WWE Speed. He's letting the chain hang low. Jasper Troy is your new WWE Speed champion. And you know what?
What's that?
You know who I have to blame? You know who I have to blame is a man that I used to have a lot of respect for. A man that was there in the early days of New Japan Strong when we held it down during the pandemic, and that's referee Jeremy Marcus. But Jeremy Marcus went out there and he did something that, quite frankly, disgusts me. He did something that no man should have done, and that was allow Jasper Troy to win the Speed title.
Yeah. You know the best part of it was?
He kicked out Rayo and Bravo from ringside. He stopped El Grande Americano from headbutting Jasper Troy and winning. And instead, now we're left with this.
Did you notice that in the very next match, a whole bunch of people interfered repeatedly throughout the match, and the referee did not eject them? Did you notice that? Did you notice that Jasper Troy did a promo in the parking lot where he said, and I quote, "I am not known for my speed."
Yeah, and then even better, Dark State just took his cameraman and ended his promo.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, caused a bunch of commotion. And the cameraman was like, all right, well, I'm with them now.
Yeah. Then they announced Javon and Leon are getting a shot at Dark State for the titles next week. And the segment ended with Leon and Javon laying them out and making them look stupid. I was like, yep, you're going to beat them next week. Because it's very important that Jasper Troy is a champion at NXT, and Javon Evans has never won a title of any sort in the entire company in the 18 months that he's been on television. Very important, Jasper Troy. Have I ever mentioned I hate this show? I don't know what I felt last week, but this week I hate it. And I think I'm done talking about it for the entire day. I just can't take anymore.
Hey, get this.
What's that?
As reported earlier by the Ring's Mike Coppinger, Jake Paul is going to go from fighting Gervonta Tank Davis to then calling out Francis Ngannou and being blown off to now fighting Anthony Joshua, a man who creamed Francis Ngannou, flatlined him just last year. The former world heavyweight champion is going to knock Jake Paul's head off, it sounds like.
Wow. I thought you were going to say he was going to face
Jasper
Troy.
I'd tune into that.
Yeah.
I'd look forward to that.
Well, I hope that Tony Khan sends a holiday card to the folks at NXT, because no matter what happens tonight at Blood and Guts, it will not be worse than last night's NXT. So they've got a show coming up. It is 2.5 hours long. We got 2 Blood and Guts matches, as well as an AEW non-title match involving the champion. Anyway, we got Women's Blood and Guts, Mina Shirakawa, Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter, Willow Nightingale, and Harley Cameron versus Tekla Sky Blue, Julia Hart, Marina Shafir, Megan Bain, and Mercedes Monet. 6-on-6. For the men, it's 5-on-5. John Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio, and Pac. Oh, no, it's Daniel Garcia. It is 6. Versus Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. Actually, that's 5.
That's 5.
Yeah, 5-and-5. 5-and-5 and 6-and-6. Whatever. Who cares? There's no rules here.
So it's Moxley, Claudio, Pac, Wheeler, and Garcia, right?
Yes.
Is that everybody that's in the Death Riders? And Marina, but
Marina's in the other match. So, yeah, 5-and-5 and 6-on-6. And then we've got Hangman Page and Powerhouse Hobbs. Non-title Falls Count Anywhere match.
I like the setup for that last week. They made Hobbs look powerful.
He was very
in that
powerful
main event.
in that match, yes. Hopefully, whatever happens tonight, Joe gets some shine because they're just doing that rematch again for literally no reason. I mean, Hangman beat him clean in the middle. The reason, I guess, is that Joe's angry. So he needs to destroy Hangman at some point prior to this upcoming pay-per-view. So, obviously, for the women, the heels, I think the heels have the advantage for the women, right? Because Harley got pinned, which was
That's
stupid.
right.
And for the men, the baby faces have the advantage.
I'm telling you, it sounds stupid, but I got a feeling that her and Willow are winning those tag titles.
They might. It's possible.
And hey, maybe Harley's the one that gets the big win tonight for her team, although there's a lot of ways that this one could play out.
I think for the men, I think the easiest thing to do is one of these guys needs to get beat up before the match.
Like Brian Pillman style.
He needs to be taken out, and so the heels still have the advantage, and then he can return at the end, so he's still actually in the match.
Yeah, Darby sneaks in there like he's Brian Pillman at Wrestle War or whatever, 91, and he gets beat up. You remember that? That was one of my favorite memories in wrestling history. Sid powerbombing Pillman up into the cage.
That was not one of Pillman's favorite memories.
Well, does he remember it at all? He got powerbombed right on his head. But it made the match awesome, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's always bad when one accident occurs which causes another accident to occur immediately after. He was powerbombed, he hit his head on the cage, which caused the powerbomb to go wrong, and he powerbombed on his head. That sucked. By the way, I wasn't going to talk anymore about NXT, but hopefully Trick is okay, because they did a spot where he got sent through the barricade, but unfortunately behind the barricade is another metal barricade, and he went through this first barricade like butter and frickin' bing! Banged his head on the metal. And you see the ref go over to him, and the ref goes, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then the ref goes, "Are you sure?" And then apparently he thought he was sure, so they let him wrestle. I thought the ref was supposed to be a little more... "Are you sure?" he asked. I don't know about the idea of asking the talent. What do you think of John Cena's title win on Raw?
I mean, I'm okay with the happening. I wasn't, like, the match was there, you know. I thought the finish was so weird. I mean, I understand what they're going for, but, like, there's no momentum on the roll through.
No.
John Cena just eats the frog splash from Dominic and then decides he's going to back roll and stand up and hit the AA. The crowd was going crazy. John Cena looked like he was having the time of his life. I don't know what else you want from his final appearance in Boston. I know you didn't like taking the belt off Dominic, but in the long run...
No, I don't care about that. I just don't want
think
him to lose his last match. I don't care about beating Dom. I mean, it would be better if Dom beat him, but I just don't want him to lose his last match. I think it's a stupid idea.
How awesome will it be when he beats Gunther? He taps Gunther out with the STFU and then celebrates with that Intercontinental title with... You got all the heads of state and politicians behind him giving him the salute.
Maybe you can hand that belt over to one of them. That'll be the end of the Intercontinental title. John Cena Day in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Maybe they'll put it up for the winner of the National Presidential Fitness Award.
Could do that.
Be the new Intercontinental Champion.
Could do that. It's an easy thing with Gunther because Gunther retired Goldberg, so he can point out how he's going to retire two legends in the same year. There's no way he's beating Cena. They just can't do this. It'd be such a stupid idea. John Cena, you know what he should do? He should win that last match, and then he should announce that I am vacating the Intercontinental title, and it is going to a tournament of NXT wrestlers, and whoever gets the belt is the winner. That's what he should do.
That's good.
Or I got another one after the break. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We all went to the AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view in the Tacoma Dome. What a dump.
They've remodeled in the last 5 years.
I don't want to watch a show in the Tacoma Dome. I'm over that part of my life.
So this is all about
I
you,
want
okay.
It is all about me. It's my show.
Yep.
Sick of these crappy dumps.
Rico. Yes. Rico Constantino.
Mm-hmm.
When Rico Constantino showed up on the screen, I almost fainted.
If you would have slapped me with a bass, I would have been less surprised.
A bass,
Yeah.
you say?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Now, you mean the fish
Yes.
or like a bass, the instrument?
No, a bass.
Well, he would have said a bass if he meant a bass.
Shibata hooks a rear naked choke, and Shibata's shoulders were down, and the referee counted 3.
I don't care what happened in Florida in 1973.
That is an Eddie Graham babyface finish when he wanted a heel to get a fluke win.
The crowd hated it.
Hated it.
You know, people are upset that Adam Cole's back as a babyface or whatever.
Why?
But, dude, he's been gone for a year. So they obviously want to do Adam Cole and MJF. MJF is a heel. So obviously Adam Cole is coming back as a babyface.
Yes. Will Ospreay, Takeshita, and Ricochet. My rating for this match was 1 zillion stars. I believe this may be my new favorite 3-way ever. John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson.
You have
Not
to
a
say it
fun
in such a
match.
sad way.
Yes! It was sad. It was a sad match. That's it, before we even get to the post-match. The whole thing, start to finish, was sad. It was meant to bum you, the fans, out.
It worked.
It worked. It elicited emotions, which is what art is supposed to do.
It was very much like The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels when Undertaker retired him, and like that's exactly what happened, is everyone just slowly stood up and quietly, sadly walked out of the building that night.
There was one gentleman that was walking by us, and he was dripping in Bryan Danielson's merchandise. And he was wailing, and he cried, forget my language, I can't believe they punked out my favorite wrestler like a bitch. And he was so
Wow.
upset.
And we go into that press conference. All I got to say about Don Callis is, man, I can't help but notice he's got a big mouth when he's got Takeshita right next to him, doesn't he?
That was a scintillating question. And I think maybe after that, we're finally, the Bryan and Vinny show might actually just be the Bryan show. That was producer Rob level stuff right there. Need to work on your game a little bit. Okay. Next.
Rob's so excited and happy now. He texted me today. So it looks like I'm feuding with Don Callis. Ha ha. That's what he texted me.
That's not the way I took it at all. I looked at his wiener, and now he's mad at me. Duh.
So they've already announced on Saturday night's main event. By the way, I'm Bryan Alvarez. Tom Lawler's joining us, Wrestling Observer Live. Can we get a graphic up for me, please? So anyway, they've already announced there's going to be main roster. Thank you. Main roster versus NXT matches at that Saturday night's main event. So what if John Cena went on first? You do the match. You beat Gunther. You have as much time as you need for a long celebration. Everybody's all happy and sad at the same time. And then you have the guy announce, it's my last match. I'm vacating this title. And it will go tonight to the winner of a tournament featuring these men who are showcase matches on this show. And then you do that little tournament, and then whoever ends up winning the mini tournament is the new Intercontinental Champion. So So even though they didn't beat John Cena to win that belt, they won the title directly from him on his final night on what I'm sure will be a hugely viewed program.
Yeah, so that even if he doesn't lose, John Cena gives somebody the rub.
Yes, he passes it on to them that night.
Yes, John Cena giving somebody the rub, which is your biggest fantasy.
Excuse me? So anyway, that's what I think they should do. Because for some reason, even though the show's on Peacock, they do have like a time limit. And so I don't want it to be like one of those deals where, John Cena goes on last, you end up being rushed for time, you don't get to really do much of it post-match, so just put it on first. Then do those showcase matches in a tournament afterwards.
I tried to get rid of old Peacock there last week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they sent me an offer I could not refuse.
What's that, free?
$40 for the year.
Wow.
I said,
They're
know what,
desperate.
I'll take it.
They are desperate. Did you hear about Mick Foley?
Yeah, when he got thrown off the cage.
So
at Hell in a Cell, that was
Mick Foley feels
crazy.
great because he recently had his hip and his knees replaced. And he says he feels so good that he called Kevin Nash and he told him, something amazing happened today. I actually passed somebody in the airport. He walked around somebody. He was moving so quickly. So anyway, he noted that
It was me.
Well, that's why I bring this up.
No.
He said his hip was replaced.
Actually, you know what? He was at Relentless, their last show.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oddly enough. Sorry.
He said,
Mute me if you want.
Once I realized there was no hope, once I had the hip followed by the knee, it was like a new lease on life. He said his body is still worse off than most people who haven't taken his level of damage, but he feels better than he did 15 years ago. He said that his doctor told him, "Are you ready for this?" His hip was the worst the doctor had ever seen. He didn't know how Foley was able to walk, but they fixed it, and he's back to normal. I knew you'd like that one, Tom.
I might have to hit up old Mick Foley. I might have to send him a message.
Are you guys going to go back and forth and
Yeah. Why not?
exchange pictures of your hips?
Yeah, I
Do
think
it.
so. I've met him a few times. Nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
Sparked up a conversation with me.
Yeah.
Big fan.
You could get a cameo, but I think he's taking the month off. So you should get a cameo from me, F4W Online on Cameo. I will try and do as well as Mick Foley. So there you go. Priscilla Kelly did an interview and said that people overestimate how much money wrestlers make in NXT. She said some contracts in NXT as low as $30,000 a year, and the deals do not go much higher than that. I was always under the impression that if you're a main NXT roster star, you're around $75,000. But she claims not much higher than $30,000.
Yeah. Is that after you take out taxes and everything? I mean, that is an extremely low salary in today's world. $30,000, even
Well, I
if
think
you are a trainee.
Florida's what? No income tax?
There's no state income tax.
Yeah, so there's at least that. But it is expensive to live there.
Well, it depends where you live, but I mean, if you're living in Orlando, yeah, it's not cheap.
Well, she will be on the show we're on, the Relentless Show, November 22nd.
Who's this? Priscilla Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, she will also be at MLW 2 days before that.
Wow.
The MLW versus Don Gatto show in Charleston, South Carolina, taking on Shotzi Blackheart. So I'll get to see Priscilla Kelly in action two times.
Maybe we should do a poll to determine what we should do on that show. Because we ain't wrestling. Tell you that much.
I think Royce is just going to get in the ring and stretch you.
I want to corner. Who's he facing?
Cedric Alexander.
All right, you corner Cedric. I'll corner Royce.
This is not our idea to make. I don't know.
Of course it's not. Of course it's not our idea to make. But like, we got to do something when we go out there, right? November 22nd, everybody. We're gonna be there. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm going to interview people in the crowd.
Oh, is that right?
I'm going to be like Nina Drama.
Until I mute your mic as you're doing it. So you know what WWE did? They sent out a list. This is classic. The top merchandise sellers of 2025. But then they didn't rank them by who sold the most. Well, what the heck good is this? Like Roman Reigns and Rhea Ripley and John Cena.
It's just a list
Jey
of their
Uso
stars.
and Cody and Punk and like, hello, I could have told you that.
Is there anybody in there that snuck in who you wouldn't expect?
Well, actually, the closest to sneaking in would actually be AJ Lee because she's only been around. Wow. She was only around. She returned in September and she's in the top 10 list. So she must have sold a ton of merch.
That is crazy.
Is that Chase saying?
It was unknown, actually. So
anyway, yeah, they're the top merch sellers. Alexa Bliss, AJ, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu.
Alexa Bliss, too.
Yeah. Not Charlotte. Jey Uso, John Cena,
come
Penta,
on.
Rhea Ripley, and Roman Reigns.
Half the crowd hated her. More than half the crowd hated her for more than half the year until she partnered up with Alexa. Which, I know they're not the tag champs any longer after losing to the Kabuki Warriors on Monday night, which you also haven't talked about on this show since there was no show yesterday.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them paired together. Maybe they don't have to continually team every week, but at least keeping them aligned, because I think it's done a really good job of getting Charlotte back into the role as a babyface.
Well, I think if anything else, it's just them being together. Charlotte appears to be enjoying her life now.
Yes.
So that's at least a positive.
It's like they tried to not be friends in the act, but you can clearly tell Charlotte is loving it.
Well, I know. So they should just be friends, because the awkward, not really friends, I just find these segments like excruciating to watch.
I think they're now friends. I think they
After
are
they
friends
lost
at
the
this point.
titles? Okay.
Well, I think they were friends before, because they came out and they did the love hand signal thing together before the match. And I was like, oh boy, you guys are losing.
Tom, sometimes failure brings people together. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it drives them further apart as well.
But I will say that John Cena probably was a top merch seller. And I could tell that just by watching the shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have here? Eddie Kingston is wrapping up his indie career, he says. Will no longer be working indie dates. This is his final indie run, he says. He's got Beyond Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Junkie. Should bring him in for this show on November 22nd. And he's going to be wrapping up all of his indies after all of these shows. Wrestling Junkies Damaged Goods 3, I think, is one of his final shows as well. We had Jericho on his podcast putting over TNA, which of course has everybody talking.
What an interesting set of comments he made there.
I was so impressed with Bound for Glory, he said. He was so impressed. That crowd looked huge. It was a WWE level crowd. Place was packed. I was watching this, not saying anything out of school here, but comparing it to watching Dynamite when we were at the ECW Arena, which looked like a Tony Condello taping. Wow.
That was the comment that I was like, what? You could have just left it at putting over TNA, but bringing up the ECW Arena tapings and burying them,
comparing it to
deeper
a Tony
than a
Condello
Philly
taping.
mobster.
I howled at that one. So anyway, yeah, I don't think he's long for AEW, or he's working everybody, and they've got a new deal, and he's going to debut tonight. Let me say
Bryan,
this. Yes.
Okay. No, continue on, because I
just want to say something very
different
quickly.
point.
I don't think Chris Jericho, but I do think there's a chance we're going to see a surprise return on AEW tonight. I don't know this really at all, but I heard something over the weekend where I think it's possible. So we'll see. Not Britt Baker. Anyway.
Bryan, you brought up ticket sales earlier.
Yes.
Right? Big shows. It looked like a WWE show. How about the tickets for this Tokyo Dome show from New Japan?
What are they at now? 35? 39?
I think they were talking about they're going to have to open up the outfield
Wow.
soon in the stands. So that would be like probably, I don't know, 40,000 they're looking at.
Tanahashi's last match.
Against Okada on the undercard of Shuri versus Saya Kamatani.
It's not on the undercard. I'll bet you anything it's closing the show. Tanahashi's match is closing the show.
By Okada's talk, it sounds like it, but hey, if I'm in charge, I'm putting Shuji and I'm putting Takeshita on in that last spot. Okada's not carrying New Japan into the future. Sorry, guys. And neither is Tanahashi. There might be Tanahashi is in a way, but you got to put on that double title match last. One of the two.
Not happening, brother.
No?
Tanahashi is going to go on last.
Well, you also have to remember this show, right, is going to be on TV, I believe. I think they're getting a slot on broadcast TV. So you're going to have Aaron Wolf and Evil on there as well, 100%.
God, are you sure you want that? Sure you want to expose Aaron Wolf to the masses after his last two run-ins?
Listen,
Good Lord.
You could say whatever you want, but years ago when I went to Totacon, there's like so many items in there that you can buy. Some of them are here behind me. I bought an Antonio Inoki and Ali program from that event for $100. Okay, there were 3 things in there that I remember being higher price than anything else, like $15,000 each. One was an Inoki robe. Okay,
That he actually wore?
Yeah.
Wow.
One was Andy Hoog's sparring gear and shorts.
Wow.
Right? And then the third one was an Aaron Wolf judo gi from the Olympics.
Well, it's from the Olympics, I mean. Hey, listen, he's a huge name. It's a big deal. He just looks like he sucks. That's the problem. I mean that in the nicest way possible. Actually, I don't. He just looks like he sucks. So, like, he's got, what? It's November 12th? He's got 2 months to not suck. Otherwise, I don't know if I'd want that on national TV yet.
Maybe they'll just have to defer and bring back his brother Blue Wolf. And we can all rejoice.
You mean Wolf Blue? I'm glad you dropped the Wolf Aaron. Yeah, you did. You forgot.
I did forget.
It's all right. Blood and Guts, by the way, is at 4,800 tickets out. They got 314 tickets remaining for their setup here. Whoa. So, I guess we're going to the break, everybody. Wrestling Observer Live. If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done. Over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008. Go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of the Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Bryan and Vinny Show, Figure 4 Daily, Filthy 4 Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today, f4wonline.com. Tom, today is a big anniversary day. Filthy Tom Lawler, Wrestling Observer Live.
That's right, November 12th. I'm just doing this off the top of my head, but I believe 1993.
Yes.
From McNichols Arena in Denver, Colorado. The first ever UFC took place. First ever bout, Gerard Gordeau kicking Taylor Tooley's tooth
Yes.
through his mouth
Yes.
into the crowd.
Disgusting.
They stopped it, and Hoist Gracie ended up winning that event. I think he beat Gordeau in the finals, actually, and kind of revolutionized combat sports as we know it. Of course, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu became one of the primary arts practiced throughout the world, one of the biggest practitioner sports probably going today. And the UFC is now the biggest pro wrestling company in the world all these years later.
All right, everybody.
32
Today,
years.
there is an After Dark Radio, 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern today. We have a special guest, and Darcy Weir of the OccultJourneys.com website. They cover everything. Bigfoot, UFOs, underwater bases. It's going to be awesome. 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern today, however you're listening to this
Skunk
show.
ape.
Yeah. The Yarin. I'm going to go on and on. The Yeti. The Yeti. We're going to talk all of that on After Dark Radio today. 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, Sports Byline Broadcasting.
I dated all of them.
However you're listening to this show, you can listen to After Dark Live at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. So check it out, and I'll be back for that in an hour. And Tom, we'll see you again soon, right, brother?
Maybe, if I'm not muted.
If you're not suspended, like Semper Vivi was many times. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.